Hey everybody, welcome back. In this video I'm going to show you how to play the guitar solo from the classic Alice in Chains song, Man in the Box. This one comes off of their debut album, titled Facelift, released back in 1990. Now Alice in Chains certainly deserves some credit for helping popularize the grunge and alternative rock movements of the 1990s. However, many of you know that their origins were quite a bit different than that. If you go back onto YouTube and look for the Treehouse tape demos from about 1988, you're going to hear a band that sounds like they'd be more at home on the Sunset Strip in the late 80s. So a lot of that old kind of hard rock influence can still be heard in their later music, and especially on Facelift. This solo is probably the best example of this. I would not call this a grunge guitar solo. This is a rock and roll guitar solo all the way. Now, if you're interested in getting a copy of the custom tabs that I've created for this guitar solo, or the awesome backing track from Jam Kazam, I'll put more information in the video description down below. Now, if you want to catch all my videos as soon as they're available, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And hitting that thumbs up does help my videos get a little bit more exposure. And then if you have any questions or comments, leave those down below and I'll attempt to answer them as time allows. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to play the entire solo for you slowly with the tabs on the screen. That way the more advanced players can get through this more quickly. Then after that, for everybody else, we'll break it down note by note. Let's go. Now in section 1, we're going to play this. Now, right from the beginning, it's probably going to sound a little bit different than the original recording because, as I mentioned earlier, I've turned off the wah-wah pedal, which was adding that filtering you hear in the regular song. So if I put the wah back on, you'd hear... Okay, but again, I'm leaving the wah-wah off for the rest of the lesson. That way you hear the guitar licks in their purest form. So we're going to be performing a trill here. If you're not familiar with the term, a trill is where you play one note and then hammer on and pull off from another note. So in this case, we're playing open D, but we're trilling off of the second fret. So we're hammering on and pulling off from that second fret over and over. And I don't recommend trying to count it out, like, oh, I'm hammering on and pulling off 15 times or whatever the accurate number is. If you do it that way, you're going to sound very robotic and stiff. You just got to go with what feels right. And if you're one or more or less, or a few more or less, as long as it feels right, most people won't know the difference. So don't try counting it, just go with what feels right. Now I want to mention really quickly that you can see on the screen, I've notated that you end the trill with an open D string note instead of ending on the second fret. Minor little thing there, but I want to call that out because it's going to help you transition into the next lick. All right, let's move on to section 2. Here's section 2 at normal and then slow speed. Let's break it up into 2 boxes, and in the first we play. So we're going to play 7 of D hammered to 9, and then 7, 9 G. And then you're going to play 9 of G again, bend up 1.5 steps, hold it for a little bit and bring it back down. 1.5 steps in case you're Not familiar with that. It's like taking it from here to here. Let's play that first box slowly a few times. Then in the second box we play slowly. So we're going to play 9-7G and then 9-8-7D and then 5-7D. Let's play what we have so far in that second box. And notice that you're not letting the notes really ring out. You're kind of stopping them quick, kind of choppy. It's called staccato. As opposed to letting them ring out. And then you're going to play 7 again on D, bend up and down, and then vibrato. Here's that second box slowly a few times. Let's tie both boxes together and play section 2 one more time slowly and then at normal speed. Okay, let's move on to section 3. Here's section 3 at normal and then slow speed. We're going to break it up into 2 boxes, and in the first we play So what you're doing is you're going to quickly slide up to the 10th fret of the B string and bend it up a full step. And then as you're holding that note, you're going to pick it, let's see, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 16 times, okay? And then probably about 2/3 of the way you start bringing the bend down. Now I'm showing that you end the bend at about a 1/4 step up. Don't get too hung up on that. Once again, just go what feels right. I don't even recommend counting how many times you hit the note. Just go along with the beat and play what feels right. Okay, let's play that first box again. Then in the second box we play. So we're going to play 10th fret of B, bend up and down, pull off to 8, 9G wide vibrato. Let's tie everything together there, and we'll play section 3 one more time, slowly and then at normal speed. Okay, let's move on to section 4. Here's section 4 at normal and then slow speed. Now those last 2 notes there, you actually hold those notes for quite a long time as the next section kicks in. We'll come to that in a minute. But we're going to break this up into 3 boxes, and in the first we play slowly. So we're going to pick or slide up to the 14th fret of the G string and then bend up. And at the top, hit it again. A lot of people miss that, the bend when you hit the note at the top. Instead, they just go as opposed to. But again, when I listen to the isolated guitar tracks slow down, I hear that extra note thrown in there. It's really hard to hear unless you slow it down. You can certainly leave that second note out, and most people won't know the difference. That's the easier way to play this. But again, I wanted to get it as accurate to the original as possible. Then after that, 12th fret B, hammer to 15, pull off to 12. So far slowly. Or if you want to do it the simpler way. And then you're going to play 14 of G, and then 12 B, 15, 12 again with the hammer-ons and pull-offs. Let's play what we have so far in the first box slowly. And then 15 of B, bend up, down, up, down. Let's play that first box again a few times slowly. Normal speed. Then in the second box we play so we're going to start by bending up at the 15th fret of the B string, and then 12, 15 E. Then you're going to bend up at the 15th fret of the E string. It's kind of a slow bend. Hold it for a little bit, bring it down. I notate that you go up 1 3/4 step. It sounds like it was just flat of 2 steps up, but just go with what feels right. So far in that second box. Then 15, 12 E. 12 on G, hold it for a really tiny bit, hammer to 14. Wide vibrato. Let's play that second box a few times slowly. Then in the third box we play. Now you're going to end up holding those notes. Let me come back to that. So what you're doing is you're going to bend up at the 14th fret of the G string and hold it. And then while you're holding it, you're going to hit 15 of B. And then use your vibrato bar for vibrato if you've got a vibrato bar. And you're going to end up, if you want to try and recreate the original recording, you end up holding those notes for quite a long time. The guitar starts to feed back because Jerry apparently had quite a bit of volume in the studio. And it goes on for quite a bit into the second section. But if you're playing this live by yourself, obviously you're going to come out of this section pretty quickly. You're not going to really be holding those notes. But again, I want to call that out if you're trying to recreate the original recording. All right, let's tie all 3 boxes together and play section 4 one more time, slowly, and then at normal speed. All right, let's move on to section 5. Okay, here's section 5 at normal and then slow speed. Now, I want to call out first that you may have noticed that my guitar tone has changed. That's because for the first 4 sections of the solo, I was using the bridge pickup. Now I've moved to this neck pickup, which is obviously a single coil. It's the Seymour Duncan quarter pounder, which is a pretty loud, beefy single coil, a little bit noisy. But again, I wanted to try and replicate the tones or the approach that Jerry took in the original song, because you can hear at this point of the solo, he's moved to a single coil pickup. We're going to break it up into 2 boxes, and in the first we play. So you're going to play open E, hammer to 3. A lot of people miss the fact that there's an open E string at the beginning there. They just play 3 like instead of. But if you listen closely to the isolated guitar track, you'll certainly hear it. And watch Jerry do it live too. After that, you've got some string scratches. And then 5 of D, quarter step up, 7 of A. Vibrato. Let's play that first box a few times slowly. Then in the second box, we play slowly. So we're going to do some string scratches, followed by 7 of G hammered to 9. So far. String scratch, 8 of B. String scratch, 10 of B, bend up a full step. 10 of B. Let's play what we have so far in the second box. And then 8 of B, bend up a quarter step. 9 of G vibrato. Let's play the entire second box a few times slowly. All right, let's tie both boxes together and play section 5 one more time, slowly and then at normal speed. Okay, let's move on to section 6. Here's section 6 at normal and then slow speed. Let's break it up into 2 boxes, and in the first, on the B string, 12, 11, 10. Then you'll play 12 on G twice. The second time you bend it up about 1 1/4, so a little sharp from a full step and wide vibrato. So in the second box we play. So we're going to rake past the D string to hit the G string at 12th fret, bend it up 1 1/4, and then 12, 9. And then you hold that 9th fret G, and while you're holding it, you're going to play 10 of E. All right, let's play that second box a few times slowly. Okay, let's tie both boxes together and play section 6 one more time slowly and then at normal speed. Okay, let's move on to section 7. Here's section 7 at normal and then slow speed. Let's break it up into 2 boxes, and in the first we play. So it's 17 of B hammered to 20 and then 20 again. And then 20th the third time, bend up 1 1/2 steps, bring it down, pull off the 17. So far. And then 9 of G wide vibrato, slide down. Then in the second box we'll play. So we start with some string scratches, followed by 12 D, G, B twice, slide down. So far. And then you're going to do string scratches and then open E. And then string scratch again. You'll notice that I tab that you're sliding up. It's really finger noise on the strings. So far. And then you're going to play natural harmonics, actually, at the 5th fret of E, A, and D. Most people just do a scratch there again, but when I slow down the isolated guitar track, it sounds like Jerry probably accidentally hit those harmonics. And then you're going to play the Hendrix chord, right? 7A, 6D, 7G, 8B. Let's tie everything together in that second box and play it a few times slowly. All right, let's tie both boxes together and play section 7 one more time, slowly and then at normal speed. Okay, let's move on to section 8, the final section. Here's section 8 at normal and then slow speed. So you're going to play open E palm muted, and then the 3rd fret, bend up a full step, and then 2nd of D vibrato. Then in the 2nd box, we'll play slowly. So you're going to start with some string scratches, 4 of them on the lower strings, and then 5 on A hammer to 7, and then a little string scratch on D followed by 7 on D up about 3/4 of a step, then pull off to open D. A lot of people miss that pull off. They just play as opposed to. But if you listen to the isolated guitar track, you'll hear that Jerry had pulled off to the open D. You can skip that if you want. Most people won't notice the difference. So far, slowly. And then another string scratch on D, and then 5 up a half step. Let's play again what we have so far in the 2nd box, slowly. Now, once again, if you want to skip that pull off from 7 of D to the open string, it would be. Most people won't know the difference. And then we're going to play on the A string, 7, 5, 7, slide down. And then 3 on low E, twice ad vibrato. Now we're going to tie both boxes together and play section 8 one more time, slowly and then at normal speed. And then I'm going to show you the secret lick that's kind of buried in the mix that oftentimes people will add in here. We'll come to that in a minute. But first, let's play it the right way, slowly, and then at normal speed. Okay, now I'm going to show you that hidden lick that people often play in section 8. So what they do is they take the 2nd half of the 2nd box and they add this in instead. Okay, so here's what it would sound like. Slowly. So you can see that it's the 2nd half of the 2nd box that's been changed. But let me show you the entire 2nd box again with this different hidden lick. So once again, you start with the string scratches, 4 of them, and then 5 of A hammer to 7, and then a string scratch. So that's the same so far. Then it gets different. Then you're going to play the 2nd fret of the G string, bend up a full step. And then you're going to play open B, open E, open B, letting those ring out. So far. Then 2nd of G, bend up and down, pull off to 0. And then 2nd of D twice. Add vibrato. Again, here's that 2nd box slowly. All right, now which way you decide to play it is completely up to you. I prefer to play it the other way, the way that I showed you a minute ago. Because that's what Jerry does live. But either way, I think most people aren't going to know the difference. Just keep in mind that that hidden lick is there in case you want to play it that way. Okay, let's wrap it up. That was my video on how to play the guitar solo from the Alice in Chains song, Man in the Box. If you found it helpful or informative, I would appreciate a thumbs up. And please hit that subscribe button to catch all my content as soon as it's available. And if you have any questions or comments, again, leave those down below, and I'll attempt to answer them as time allows. Until next time, rock on.